This is how to make a pivot table and pivot chart using Excel 2013 on a PC. Now at this point, if you're using a Mac, I would suggest going to the library and either using one of their rental PCs or one of the PCs out in the open. It is much easier and sometimes only possible to make a pivot chart on a PC. Now, if you are in my class, Brian Stevens, you will find the data for this assignment on My Pearson under Data Files. At the very top, you will see Pivot Table Data. We can go ahead and click on the Pivot Table Data and download it, and we will open up the file right here. So with this file opened up right now, we can see all the data. Go ahead and click anywhere in the file. Now hit Control A, and you will have selected all the data. We need next to go to Insert and click on Pivot Table. It'll ask us what data we want to use. We've already selected it. And it'll ask us where we want to put it. A new worksheet would be great. So let's hit OK. It'll open up a new worksheet for us. Tab down here at the bottom. And now we have, right here actually, we have options of how to make our pivot table. At any point we can make a pivot chart by simply going to Analyze and going to Pivot Chart. We don't need to hit this yet because we don't have any data in here. And one of the great things about Excel 2013 is it will actually show you the pivot chart when you go to click on it. So we can leave this option open for now. Let's go ahead and do something similar to what you're going to do on your assignment, but not your actual assignment. Let's say I want to look at gender, and I want to look at the average height. Well, right now we have a count of gender, and we don't want some sort of sum or count right here. Considering that this is a sum, I can go to the value field setting. Let's go ahead and click on this. We can change it to average by just double clicking here, and now it is changed to an average for gender. Maybe we think there's something with being born in Tennessee with making people taller. We could put that down here and now separate by born in Tennessee, not born in Tennessee. How about if we want to see, maybe, let's look at some other stuff here. Let's go to Pepsi or Coke. And there's a reason I picked this. I picked it because there's a I don't drink either. And let's say for some reason I don't want that I don't drink either in here. I can go up here and filter it out. These are the filter options up here in the arrows. I can remove I don't drink either, and now they've been filtered out from this table. We'll put them back in. There are other ways of doing this. Let's click back here and put them back in. Now let's say I still want to remove these people from the data, but I want to do fraternity sorority. If you want to do some filtering to the data that is not available from your current options in here, if you notice these will filter the current options, you could actually filter by putting it in the filter option. And then up here at the top, we get to filter the data, and we can select to filter things out of the data. Right now we have selected all, so let's go to select multiple items. We'll turn off all, and we'll only have people born in Tennessee in our data set. And now the data changes again. So remember what these do over here on the side. The filter will let you filter anything. We can filter data that is in our data set using the icons above it. I'm taking off the filter right now and removing this from the filter. So you have options to filter up here, and you can also put some other variable in the filter that you don't currently have in your table. This is a very simple table right now, displaying gender and people being in fraternity sorority and the average height. Let's say I want to change it to the tallest person in a fraternity and sorority. I can go over here to value field setting and change it to max. Now I can tell that the tallest person was actually, and this might be someone who misentered the data, but it says to me the tallest person in our data set was a female who is not in a fraternity or sorority, and they are 6'7". That could be true, that could not be true. We don't know. And the tallest female in a sorority is 6 feet. Generally, males have about the same height between fraternity and sorority. Between fraternity and non-fraternity. But what we can do to actually visualize this is go over here to Pivot Chart. And let's go ahead and display this. Now we have a display over here. And the scale is not correct right now, but we do get a more distinct difference when we have the scale offset like this. This would not be a proper display of data because it's making these smaller differences look much larger than they actually are. But one thing you want to remember to do anytime you make one of these is go up here to the design feature and enter in, you'll see this in Excel 2010 also, you have options. I first kind of pick the one I like the best. This one looks pretty decent to me, and then I start adding. Your options to add on Excel 2013 are over here. Your options to add on Excel 2010 are up at the top under the Pivot Table tab up here. So if you're using Excel 2013, you have to click the plus arrow to enter in a data table, to enter in a chart title, to enter in data labels on top. And generally that data table will suffice. We can also change the options by going over here and changing it like this. Excel 2013 is so interactive, it's very easy to change everything and get things exactly the way we want them to be. So with this in mind, we've pretty much added everything we need in here. We just haven't filled it all out. And we have a pretty decent looking pivot chart right now. So anything we do to change the pivot table will change the pivot chart accordingly. We can remove fraternity sorority, and now we're just down to just males and females. You'd want to go ahead and fill out these titles right here. I love Excel 2013 because we can actually directly change the font right here. I should highlight the whole font and make it a much bigger size. Let's go ahead and highlight it all. Try to make your work look a little bit nice. See what you can do. There we go. And now, oops, I clicked outside the box. I could label this gender down here. And let's actually change the font size. There we go. Much better. You could label this over here height, and you could put height by gender. Actually, this one would be called max height by gender. And hopefully I spelled everything correctly. The answer is yes, I did. This is the basics of creating a pivot chart and pivot table, but we see this, and I'd love to highlight how bad this one is right now, because it looks like females are way taller than males, the max height for females. Once again, this scale here is deceptive. We can double click on this in Excel 2010 and Excel 2013. You can double click, and it is a bit odd, but we do have a very tall female, and we see the max height is very similar. Let's go ahead and remove these. And now we've made this a lot better. We have not added an axis title. We could go over here. Height in inches. Select it all, increase the font, and we have some pretty decent work here right now. I could clean it up a little bit more. I didn't increase the in inches part of it, but it's all up to you to make these things look nice and to just give us some great pivot tables and pivot charts. Remember, you are turning in the pivot charts. Now, to take the pivot chart out of Excel, go to Snipping Tool. You can find that by going to your Start menu and typing SNIP. You'll see Snipping Tool come up. It'll look just like this. With Snipping Tool, you can take a picture of anything on your screen and insert that. Now, this is not an interactive picture, which you'll get when you insert a graphic sometimes by special pasting. This is just a screenshot which cannot be resized without changing the dimensions. So get your picture just the way you want it, like this right here. Take your screenshot, go over to Microsoft Word, start up a new document, and insert your graphic. It might come in very big, it might come in very small. Resize accordingly, and you have your graphic in Microsoft Word, and you can type whatever you would like. My graphic is going haywire. So with this in mind, you should have the basics right now of what to do to make your pivot table and pivot chart. If you have any questions, email me. Good luck.